And so I hope you had a beautiful week since last time we met here online. You know, this is the way it is. We need to deliver our contents. Last week, I left one exercise. I don't really know if everybody tried to do it or not, but at least we can try to ask if someone has some
Sure.
you know, uh, some insights. And yeah, that's where I would start. You know, let me just start. Well, I will share now exactly, and then we can start asking few
Discussion?
questions.
Yes.
I think you see my screen, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
But yes, now it's full.
Okay, good. So for today, the topic is slightly different from well, it's different from last session, and like I said, I would like to finish what we started. Okay, so do not lose any, to not leave any loose cables. That's how we say. Although today, afterwards, we will be talking about developing culinary and fashion tourism, and what I planned for today also in this part, it was you know, bringing you an initiative from entrepreneurship, and actually that this example and this content, they come as a fruit from one of the questions that we had last session, when I was saying that we can, or we should, or it is very welcome when we promote initiatives for entrepreneurship, even inside schools or universities, because, you know, many times we bring many contents, many hot topics, we can read about them, but we don't have the real experience in implementing them. Everything is perfect on the paper, in theory, everything works, we can control variables and so on, but actually when we are in the field, we start facing some challenges. Well, it is when it starts becoming more realistic. So I have two examples that I will bring to you from entrepreneurship, which started at university with some entrepreneurship programs. And so one of them, it is in development right now, and the other one is already mature, I would say, because it exists already since what, maybe 10, 15 years. But everything around started at university, and then these ex-students, they kept, you know, improving their idea, talking to other people, asking about their opinions. They tried small events until the day they said, you know what, now it is the time, I want to establish my business, at least my ideas. I want to register my brand, my logo, my ideas, and well, it is where I bring for fashion tourism and culinary. So if you allow me just to show you what we're going to cover today's session. So it is this exploratory exercise from last session. We'll conclude very briefly what we were talking about, and then starting for the topic, I want to start giving a glimpse of zero kilometer zero products, and why I believe that you have already these topics in your programs, this 0 kilometer philosophy, 0 kilometer food, but I'll bring it a little bit towards sustainability, and I'll just drop some anchors, and then I'll start going more deep and being more precise. The heart of banana tree, which is the for the example, which I want to bring to you, which is called Palmito do Atlantic. So it's the heart of the banana tree, but is from the Atlantic. which actually comes also from the Madeira Island. And then we have another one, which is called eco-fashion. And I'll tell you a little bit about this eco-fashion, how you can stand out, how you can still, how you can keep up improving your standards, just following your plan, your ideas, trying to achieve your goals. And of course, afterwards, you can see your rewards. Of course, it sounds beautiful, this speech, and I know that many times it doesn't work like that, but that's why I said before. We have the ideas, but when we implement them, we are in the field, and then we start experiencing real challenges. So that's real life. We have competition. We have some resistance for our business. We have resistance that our customers they don't try our product. Somehow we don't reach them out, perhaps because we are not using the communication channels. And then of course, even being an eco fashion or in the fashion field, better saying, nowadays fashion is attached and very well connected to tourism also. And how, if we just think on business tourism, in any fields, when you displace from your ground to a different ground in order to attend to a business event, being a business meeting or a trade show or a fashion show, I don't really know the capitals for fashion in Southeastern Asia, but for sure you follow the trends in New York, in Paris, in Milan, and so on. And I believe that every country might have a big event, like in Lisbon, we have a Lisbon fashion show. For sure, there's also something like Indonesian fashion show or Jakarta fashion show. I don't really know the name of these events, but for sure they are, and you connect, and you just attend to these meetings. And meanwhile, while you are in the meeting, you are consuming, of course, tourism, or you are taking part of the tourism setting, because tourism afterwards is not just moving from A to B and staying more than 24 hours overnight. Just picking a small definition, of course, as you know, defining tourism is very difficult and very broad from country to country. It varies, but still, when we develop a city, when we are planning a city, and when we are building some infrastructure, or we are installing equipment for tourism purposes, they should be thought that also local population can benefit from that. If you have a cable car, let's say, I don't know, in anywhere in Indonesia that you have a cable car, almost for sure it was triggered by the amount of visitors to that specific point. And then local authorities, they decide to invest on a cable car, which can be used mainly by visitors, but of course local population, they are more than welcome to use it. I will not touch the point that perhaps you have different prices for visitors or tourists and locals, or that the prices are extremely high, regarding our standard income. And what we say is this is only for tourists. Well, this happens quite often here in Europe, but still, local population, they need to benefit from that. So when you go for a fashion show or in any business trip, you are taking part of the tourism setting. Okay. So before I start extending my thoughts about these topics, let me just go to this exploratory exercise. And I don't know, I'll just ask a couple of examples that you might have found on internet. Like I said, I propose to use the Science Direct or Tandem Offline, because these are the most common scientific search engines that I use. I don't know if they match with yours, but does not need to be exactly these ones. Okay, so what I was asking you on this exercise was to search on internet about local products and gastronomy evaluation for tourism and food sustainability. Of course, it was completely up to you if you want to just try to find for local products and gastronomy, or if you want to, and split, of course, to food sustainability, or if you try to write a mix of keywords or just this sentence, if you copy paste it and you ask Google, hey Google, tell me what do you know about gastronomy evaluation for tourism and food sustainability. For sure, there are a couple of topics. For sure, you could find already some sentences matching this one or quite similar, where you could get some insights. Another reason why I asked you to use this, not disregarding Google, of course, but another reason why I ask you to do this Science Direct in tandem offline is because we are on a university setting. We are attending to a master degree program, postgraduate program. You know, it is where we get in touch more with scientific documents, being scientific articles, being a book chapter or a book series, where we understand much better about specific authors which are very strong in publication and researching about the topic. And so you would be, I presume, familiar, or you are, better saying, let me correct, I'm sorry, more familiar with the way of writing scientific texts. So just going through an article. And very simple, you just read the abstract, you read keywords, okay? And that's why I use these same fields here, this table, or which on the first column I asked to write the keywords. Keywords, of course, I was trying to get you to write your keywords for search, okay? Or even if you want to add, perhaps some of you did that, I don't know. But you know, after the abstract, always we have some keywords, which can also be important for this study, you know. And why? Because when we build this type of concept or table, can help a lot in organizing the most important information for our study, okay? Because it is so difficult to find the right information, the right document, and plus we can have a glimpse about the time range when they are more updated, more recent, or if it is a seminar document, so the father of the old documents that we write about, we can actually identify here, okay? So keywords, who can tell me something about the keywords used for this exercise? Anyone wants to share with us, please? All of you forgot your exploratory exercise.
Ayo, siapa yang membuat ini? Silahkan. Julian, kamu buat nggak?
Maybe question.
Ya, ya. Silahkan, silahkan.
Oops. So who wants to tell me some more keywords? Well, local products is already, or local products and gastronomy. So probably some of you used already. Did any of you find any interesting publication regarding local products and gastronomy or gastronomy evaluation? Don't be shy. if you want, you can just write it and I read from the chat. If it is easy for you, just copy paste from your exercise, paste in the chat window, and I can read from you.
Okay. Aduh.
Ibu Kukum?
Yes. Sorry. Please,
Okay.
my student, silahkan. Mbak Naning, sudah membuat keyword? Halo, ayo.
I'm here. Okay, so in
Okay.
that case, I'll do it
Ya,
together with you.
sebentar.
I will do it together.
Coba teman-teman, silahkan.
Okay, let me just
Halo.
here. They are shy. They are
Ya,
shy.
exercise.
Okay, let's do it together. I will open on Science Direct.
Mr. Louis. Good
Yes,
morning.
please. Good morning.
Okay. Maybe about keywords. I want to give a keywords.
Yes, please.
How about push factor and pull factor? Gastronomic tourism in Madeira.
Okay. Push and pull factor.
Gastronomic tourism. Not just about gastronomic, but pull factor and push factor about Madeira tourism.
Okay.
How your country can push people to come there, and how another country people
That's it. Okay, I just
to
wrote
come there.
on Science Direct. I just inserted here these words. So let's see what Science Direct can tell us. Okay.
Okay.
Adventure tourism.
No anymore.
Now, you know, because it's very broad. When we type push and pull factors, it gives us for everything. Yeah? But let me try to. We only have 11. We have Brazil here. So let me see. Pull factors, Madeira. Maybe we can try something. We have more. Okay, entrepreneurs, human capital, resource, and tourism firm sales growth.
Oh, so interested.
Okay.
So interesting.
Let me just see. This is Madeira from the author, creating behavior. They don't look so, you know, because it's very specific. When we restrict to one single country or one small, perhaps let me just make a try. Indonesia.
Oh yeah.
Maybe you have more publications in
Indonesia.
Okay, you see already. Tourism, so this is Spanish active tourism, pull factors. Let me see.
Siapa sih ada?
Events in Indonesia, exploring the limits of formal tourism trends, forecasting methods in complex crisis situations. So we already have one. Allow tourism is traveling fast. So this can be, if we want to relate to tourism, okay, perhaps this one, the events we can try to see what is in it, but I think is more crisis situations, okay? This is what I'm expecting, but I'll just open on a new tab and then I'll open for us. Allow tourism is traveling fast, the community perception and implication. So this is from October 2020. which is very updated.
Okay.
Okay. Informal tourism employment, because for sure in these research articles, there's something related to push and pull factors and gastronomy tourism for sure. Taiwan coffee estates. Well, let's see these two. How can I come just here? Because I want to see. Okay, this one. Events in Indonesia exploring the limits to formal tourism trends and forecasting. So this was the title. And I copy and I come to my my table and I can just paste it here. Then as well, I come to authors. And then we have the year of publication, which is in August 2003. And I will just write 2003. And then we're going to read. So when we read through, this is a short abstract. Okay. So usually we have, you know,
Tolong dimatikan dulu, Mas Joni.
we have a small introduction of the study. Okay, it's a very general concept, unless you have the writing style of being more direct, more precise. But still, always we give an introduction. We write an introduction of our study, and they say tourism industry, the demand for accurate foretelling for future course of events. Okay, so they are talking about collecting information for future decisions at the end of the day. And of course, tourism is so this tourism, this activity consumes a lot of energy, and of course, what they want to, for sure, to focus here is the significance of tourism and how it works. Is not just because we like tourism. We need investments. Okay, that's why they highlight here investors, and then they really say the scope of this this paper. This paper examines the issue of forecasting by comparing forecasts of inbound tourism made prior to the political and economical crisis in Indonesia from 1997 onwards. So basically, they set a start point, which is 1997, okay, and they start comparing all forecasts they could find for inbound tourism. As you know, any tourism agency or even any business needs to get ready. So if we know there is, let's say, the end of Ramadan, which is a very important happening for you, for sure, business they start getting ready, you know, because it's such a huge celebration that a business cannot afford just to open the door like that. They need to have supplies. If they sell food, they need to have more supplies than usually they have, or at least in comparison to the last 30 days, where consumption was much lower. Okay, and here it will increase exponentially. So I would suggest that even you can say, if you come here and you copy paste, this is the topic, the focus of the concept idea of this paper. Okay, and then what is the importance for tourism? Well, here you have two options. One is you write the outcomes. Okay, for instance, here states straight away, this paper finds that current methods of forecasting are not able to cope with unexpected crises. you just, well, I know that Indonesia is located in a specific region or geographical position of the world, and especially you are right on top of the ring of fire, and because of that you have some specific natural events. I will not say natural disasters or whatsoever. I will say natural events, because sometimes can happen that with a underwater volcano activity that you will have more islands adding to the several thousands of islands that you have, and that can be a plus for you, or can just make it bigger. If you look to the case of the island of La Palma in Spain, as the volcano has been in eruption the last month, and well, has devastated part of the human settlements, but on the other hand, added more land to the island. Of course, it will be then a different thing when we'll talk about when can we use this land. But at the same time, a place like this, in a situation, a similar situation, will be the center of attention for all scientists, because this is a special occasion that we have, and is a unique opportunity to get to know about volcanology and gas emissions, impacts on society, impacts on the local weather. You know, it's such a huge opportunity for research studies that's why I don't call it straight as natural disaster. I call it as a natural event. Okay, and whatever you forecast, look at Bali. If I'm not wrong, the last time I was reading about the available beds in Bali, I think they were about tourism arrivals. Bali could host in a nice, comfortable, and safe way, if I'm not wrong, 6 million. No, that's too much. I don't remember very well. I think it was 6 million tourists. No, 6 million. No, that was too much. 60,000 tourists per year.
Mhm.
If someone can correct me, I appreciate on that number. But actually, they were receiving almost 12,000. So they were receiving the double, you know. And then with the COVID situation, this pandemic shut the world down, and all forecasts that we did, you know, supporting all investments, supporting all entrepreneurship actions, anything that we can imagine, even our personal lives, our private lives, in family, we got affected. So the models used for forecasting, they don't have a variable that will count with a natural disaster, a specific event that will affect on the whole economy. Okay, so this is perhaps the importance for tourism. You can just use the output from this paper, or after you read it, you can actually in your own words, you can describe the importance of this paper. Okay, and even you have here, the paper outlines a framework for classifying shock according to a scale of severity probability, type of event, level of certainty, and suggested forecasting tools for each scale of shock. You know, what do you think it will be important here? I mean, if we use this information, these developments, these findings from this paper, how important are going to be for tourism development? Okay, or even for tourism planning. So this is the type of analysis that I'm looking for, that you have your critical mind start working. Okay, so let's say that I will just use this one, and I'll just paste here. I'm sorry to go back and forward. Oops. Okay. Okay, and to not let's say to not extend that much the topic, in order to not run out of time for the other lesson. I just want to do this here. Okay. Okay, so now I can share a big screen. So as a keywords, push and pull factors, Madeira Island, but then here I wrote, I'm sorry. I wrote Indonesian tourism. So this is already an indication that about Madeira Island, there are many studies, but regarding push and pull factors, high quality publications listed on Science Direct, Elsevier, they are not actually that many. We really need to change the keywords in order to find more information for Madeira Island. But like I said, you just change the word Madeira to Indonesia and you got much more information. All right. So I know it is difficult to find what we want. We got this time, it was a publication here for 2003. Then we saw another one for 2020. I'm not going to analyze that article because it's not really the subject that I want to follow. But what I can tell you is from this table, you already know some important information for writing an essay, a small essay. If you want to write a case study, if you want to write your thesis, if you want to write anything about the subject, you can organize your information, and then it is very easy that you can make even a table about the most reliable, the most updated information. You know, this is kind of how can I call that? Additional information resuming your state of art, for instance. All right, and then you can pick any of them, and then you can be focused in the methodology used for their studies, and you can even follow if it is of your interest, and you will benefit in order to finish your essay. Okay, any questions you may have?
Okay, really so interesting. So
okay, very well. Well, this is just you know, a little bit to organize and try to help filtering information, because even myself, especially when I'm starting a new topic, you know, we are full of ideas, but we don't know in which direction we're going to go. Yes, well, I'm going in more or less here. Yes, but to be precise, if I want to be in food valuation for tourism purposes, which authors should I read? You know, we cannot read the 500,000 articles hanging on internet. We don't have time for that. So we need to start being focused, and this is a way that we can help to be every time that we find an interesting document, you can start organizing some information. And of course, especially on a concept, idea, and importance for tourism, if you write using your own words, it is actually when you will stand out for your literature review, for your state of art, or even for your discussion in any document that you are writing, at least with a scientific orientation. All right?
Okay,
well.
Mr. Louis, thank you so much for your
pleasure.
explanation.
So, just to conclude this session, and of course, so the main topic that we covered last week, and using a little bit this exercise, using different keywords, you would find different information, but more or less on the same. If you will focus on food availability and global change, for instance, you would get something more related to the first conclusion: local conditions affects local temperatures. You know, because it is, if we have an arid area, very dry ground, and this is a problem that I've been always mentioning and as well using as an example. the impact of tourism in Bali, and always we talk about Bali, or we tend to talk about Bali because it's, for a foreigner, is one of the most well-known or place island that is standing out since many years already, since our parents' time, and everybody used to talk about Bali as a very exotic place, a very beautiful, great people, Indonesian culture also, a mix of cultures, a mix of religions, so very, wow, what is this? On my side of the world, I have no idea what's going on there. And it's such an amazing place. Let's go again to Indonesia. Next time we visit different islands. This is what is important for tourism also, captivating in the way that people comes back. And with this approach, Bali starts developing so much and so fast that people stop, more or less the traditional families, they stop growing their crops. Mainly, they stopped working on their rice paddies. And well, this is a difficult thing. So they could afford to produce and supply directly, but no. Instead, they rather sell their lands or just abandon, because it's an activity which gives you a profit in different time range, and you might find it more profitable if you will start working directly in a hotel or in a warung, or you open a warung instead of being in the rice paddy. You open a warung because you have so many people going back and forth that you have an opportunity there, and all of a sudden the freshwater system start collapsing. Yes, still raining a lot. You still have a rainy season. I think that's the plus for Bali. But actually, all tourism settings, they overtake. I'm sorry. They use a lot. They overuse the fresh water. So water quality, it is not so good as it used to be. And why? Because they start having issues with solid waste. Solid waste start accumulating everywhere. And this accumulation start producing lixiviates. So these are the water coming from decomposing all this waste. And this water starts, flowing everywhere and contaminating all the streams and rivers. This lixiviate starts infiltrating underground and polluting, contaminating the freshwater system. And the people start getting sick just from drinking water. Whoa, my God. So that's what we are doing to us. Okay. And so because of the grounds are not being explored the way they used to be, they become more dry, more poor. Okay. And these affects also the local weather. Okay. If you go to rice paddy, it is much cooler than if you go into Yogyakarta, for instance, where you have lots of buildings, you have cars, you have pollution. You have microclimates inside Yogyakarta than outside, in comparison to outside. So this is why I just wrote local conditions affect global temperatures. All right. Water availability is very important for life. Indeed, it's not only for tourism. Okay, but using the example from Bali, I just gave you a very clear example that if we have a setting for mass tourism, if we overcrowd places, the need for natural resources will be much higher. Therefore, we'll consume them much faster. All right. And then if we don't have water availability, perhaps it is there, but it is contaminated. We can use it perhaps just watering the plants, but not for drinking. Otherwise, you need to boil the water. All right. Just imagine why in many places in Indonesia, and now I remember last time when I went to Indonesia, I just forgot this small detail, and I went to a warung next to my place, and I asked for some water, and they just served me a very hot glass of water, I say, hey, I didn't order tea. And they look at me, but that's water, that's what you order. And then I just remember that actually serving hot water is a way to have it in a clean state. You know, you sanitize water, you disinfect water by using temperature, right? And this is very, very important for life. Otherwise, we get sick, right? So local production is more sustainable. Well, it is more sustainable when you use sustainable methods. If as well, I want to make a small point here. It is more sustainable because we don't need to have this global trade that we are so used nowadays. You know, we don't have mangoes in Europe and we have them all year round. We don't grow pepinos in my land, but I have them all year round. We don't eat physalis. They are so trendy and expensive. They don't grow in Europe. Well, actually they grow, but they have a different taste and a different sugar level. But they come from Central and South America. So this is the global trade. But if we produce locally, we can insert new productions in certain type of climate and ground, and they grow nice. Now they would be an invasive species perhaps, or almost for sure. But if we can control them, can be sustainable also. All right. For instance, here where I live now in the Algarve, it is very popular. It is the new gold for us that we have mass production of avocado. Yes, they grow also here, but they demand for so much water that regarding sustainable planning, here in the Algarve, where we have a lack of fresh water systems, it is not the right production, at least to have it in a massive way. But that's what they have. They get funding for plantations, and that's it. Okay. And of course, just to conclude, tourists look after authentic and local food. Nowadays, when we want to work on food and evaluating our food items, we will address the importance of our local ananas. We'll address the importance of local production for tempeh. Soya beans are grown in a natural environment. They are not genetic modified. They are healthy. We don't use chemicals for fertilizing the grounds and so on. Okay, because many times we are using fertilizers or specific fertilizers, and yes, our crops they grow much healthier. They produce much more. We have a higher return from the investment, but we contaminated the ground. We contaminated the underwater system. Okay, so that's not sustainable in a society. All right. Any questions before I close this session? This end of the first session. Any comments you would like to make or to share? Any opinion? Ibu Kukum?
Not yet.
Okay.
Okay.
Louis, can I ask you a question?
Yes, please.
I think Indonesia have tempe. You told us before that Indonesia have a local product called tempe. Do you know tempe?
Yes, I know. And I
we-
learned how to like.
Yeah, we made a tempe, but actually I read in some I read from the internet, but that soybean are imported from USA. About 80% soybean that made for tempe are imported. What do you think about that? Is that something? What about sustainability? Because we have local product, but the
Not enough.
bahan baku, yeah, Bahan baku apa ya Bu? Bahan baku bahasa Inggrisnya.
Well,
The raw ingredients, the ingredients.
The ingredient was imported from other country, like that.
yes, that's very
What's your
normal.
opinion?
My opinion is, of course, I would never tell you stop importing from the US. No way. Important is that you guarantee enough supplies for our production, for our population. That's what I am more concerned. Now, for sure, the big step needs to be done by the authorities, you know, by enforcing new practices for agriculture, assisting all settings and agriculture corporations to be better organized. Sometimes it is just an adaptation to the methods used for cultivating the crops. Okay. Still, you will need, because you are millions of people in Indonesian, and tempeh, I believe, makes part of your diet and in your food menus in all over Indonesia. So the demand is so high that you will never be able to produce enough just for you. Then there's another thing. There's a big pressure from the international community. I don't want to say just from the United States, because in Europe we suffer exactly the same pressure. They try even to get into the way the European community decide for these things. They have such strong lobbies that sometimes governments approve specific bills, specific laws that we allow, and we give preference to this international trade. Okay, this is a very big machine. So the local governments, I will start local, like I said last week. Act local, okay, or think local, act, and you will impact globally. That's the thing. First, you need to address this issue, the need to develop these crops in your local population. Then you need to talk to your local politicians. Of course, if they are not so reliable, we have a problem. But that's the story at the end of the day from any nation. We need to find the right politicians that they really believe on us, and they believe that we can develop our land. And if we develop our land, they will collect more taxes. They will have more votes next time we need to go voting. And then these same politicians, they need to go to a further instance, so in a higher level in the policy, in the politics, and they need to go and try to discuss these things. Okay, we cannot import 80%. Okay, let's keep it on 70%. But this 10% that you gain, you need to address directly to your local population. It's not just forgetting them, because then you don't have it. All right, it is something that needs to be complemented. Once you cut this exportation from the international trade, you need to invest in your own country. But without investment, you cannot do it. All right. Again, it is complicated, but it's a matter of international agreements. Is a matter of investing in our own people. This is what I think.
Luis, do you think copyright or like trademark is necessary for a nation to include? For example, this one is tempeh is included as acknowledged as Indonesian authentic food, something like that.
Okay.
So it will strengthen the.
Yes, indeed. Well,
reputation, food reputation. So this is tempeh from Indonesia, and then we have the copyright, we have the trademark. So this is originally from Indonesia, authentic.
But what do you say originally? The production, the food item, right? Not the grain, not necessarily the grain. So that's where it comes down the difficult part to manage.
Yeah.
So a very important thing is, if you can, let's say, as a project for your university, right? let's pick tempe to classify it as national heritage products for Indonesia. And you can go to UNESCO, okay, and you can apply. There's a specific process, and for sure you have some properties, national nature properties and cultural aspects and traditional rituals in Indonesia that are actually listed on UNESCO site. Just go to UNESCO, search for Indonesia, and see what is listed in the UNESCO label. And once you have this label from the UNESCO, you will get already some guidance, you know, to help in preserving your tradition. And if tempe, if it is just a process of producing tempe and consuming this food item that you will register, I think you have a big thing, because this is a big push for national entrepreneurs, and is a big pull for people visiting Indonesia. No, I did not know about tempe, but now I know about tempe. I want to know much more how you grow, how you produce, and how you consume this tempe. Okay, this can be definitely one way. Now, regarding the grain, you still have the same issue. You will still need a lot of grain that this time you cannot afford. I think it's very, very difficult to think that you will produce 100% of this grain. So that means that, imagine what you do with palm oil, all right, especially in Sumatra and Kalimantan, in Indonesian Borneo, that the big corporations, they chop these trees down, they delete this natural habitat, and they plant miles and miles or kilometers and kilometers with palm trees, right? So you will need to do the same just for soybeans. Imagine that, the big impact. So in this case, it will not be sustainable. I think sustainable it will be that you can you know, try to find the best proportion that you can invest on local entrepreneurship, developing what you have already, try to set limits for production, and the rest just import. Okay, then you still have another issue. Is this grain authentic or genetic modified? When you make this label, when you register, and if you register as a natural grain, you really need to be very strict in controlling that this grain arriving to Indonesia is not genetic modified. And come from the US, almost for sure, I don't want to say 100% because I can be very mistaken, but almost for sure, they are all genetic modified. All right, it is enough. Just pick up any dairy product, for instance, that you're gonna read on the label on the back, and you see, you might find any spores of soybeans. The soybeans are genetic modified. Okay, this is by law a requirement to be listed on the label. All right, so this is the difficult part, and it is not on your hands. You cannot control anymore.
Apa drive?
You can try.
Drive by.
Okay, but again, in my opinion, yes, register the brand. Yes, register the food item as part of your natural heritage. Okay, and you will have already many benefits. All right. Any more comments or questions?
Maybe we shall go on.
Okay, we go. Very well. So I'll go. Let me just control the time. Okay, we have 1 hour. So oops, let me just click here. So I'll start, like I said, Kilometer Zero for Sustainability is the title of, or the subtitle. And this has to do with slow food. So it happens that, in 1986. And why I say 1986? It's because it was very precise. It seems that in 1986, everybody knows McDonald's, right? I believe so. McDonald's could enter Indonesia adapting their menus. Okay, in Indonesia and in Thailand and Malaysia, you go and you have rice on McDonald's. On the Western world, forget about rice. There's no rice. All right, just chips and meat and burgers and ice creams and coffee and family packs and so on. There's no rice. But if they would not introduce rice in the menus, you would not consume at McDonald's. So what happened was McDonald's, for the first time they went to Italy, it seems it was in 1986. And I'm saying it seems because I don't want to be 100% precise, but this is what I read on the literature. So McDonald's went to Rome. Rome is as if you had the chance, some of you, to be there, or if you wrote about or you read about Rome, it is an ancient city. It is the capital city in Italy, and is a massive city full of history. Wherever you go, you will see history from the Romans, for different religions. It is a huge, it's a living museum. It is a very beautiful place to go. And once it's a massive place and is considered as a mass tourism city, McDonald's said, whoa, I have an opportunity here. So they started introducing their burgers, their fast food in Rome. Of course, in Italy, mamma mia, they are so traditional. They are so attached to food, pizza, pasta, that they are so worldwide well-known that they could not accept that a fast food chain would come to their country. Their lawsuit closed the business. We don't want you here, And so it was a big movement on the streets because there was a space well, some people, they say it's called the Spanish Steps, Scalinata de España, so this is very important. Is where in Rome happens lots of events, specialties. If someone here more from fashion, for sure you remember some TV shows related to fashion, and you have the models just walking down the steps on this natural square. The Spanish square, it is actually very small, but behind you have a massive, beautiful stairs. It's a monument, and they use this place as a natural attraction and also as a stage for many events, especially for fashion. Of course, on that street, get many gold credit cards with you, because you'll have all Tiffany shops, all Armani shops, all Gucci shops, where you really spend real and big money. I mean, it's a perfect setting. And so it was a big demonstration because they didn't believe that's not food. That's not local food. We are importing food from abroad to sell here. No, we are traditional. We sell local grown tomatoes. We sell pizza. We make our own pasta at home. I don't want to have burgers shipped from the America. Okay. I don't want to have food arriving in containers. No way. And so people, they start protesting, and actually there's a founder from slow food movement, and if you click down here on the link, you can actually go to the I organized the link to be in English, to the slow food story, or history, better saying, Carlo Petrini, and he was the leader of a group of activists defending regional traditions. We eat local, we go local, we consume local, we think local, okay, because the local populations are more important than any other thing. All right. Of course, this was an idea, and still, I think now they are more or less in all countries in the world. This kilometer zero idea, slow food. Slow food means, eating, consuming local products, consuming them in a very slow pace, traditional ways of ordering food, processing food, consuming food. It's not this fast food. Nowadays, you have a touch screen at the end of the screen, the shop. You can even order from an app while you are parking the car. And you just go to the restaurant, you spend 2 minutes there to go to pick it up. It is already paid and you walk out. Okay, this is against our culture. This is against what Italians they were used to have. And so just keeping in mind, kilometer zero food, it is local production, local consumption. Okay, you have low impact primary ingredients. Wherever you are in the world, you will have meat and dairy products, any grains, any jams, any honeys, whatever is local production and as a primary ingredient is a very low impact. And a low impact because it's out of the global trade. You are not importing from Portugal. You are not importing from America. You are in Yogyakarta and you consume products from within, let's say, up to 100 kilometers distance from Yogyakarta. That's local production from there. All right. So I just give you some links here. This buy local or buy local. It means there's a movement that local population they consume local. Just imagine how many barongs you know that actually they import everything, I don't know, from Malaysia. For sure not that many, because you in Indonesia, you have the chance, at least in the local production, you have the chance to reach them out very easy. Okay, but for sure some products, they buy them already much cheaper if they import from China. Okay, I remember to be working once in Mozambique, in Africa, and in Zanzibar, and you know what? Chicken was imported from Brazil. My God, they were not even able to grow chickens. You know, you want a satay ayam, and comes from Brazil. So no way, we need to use our production. Okay, so this is kilometer zero philosophy. So this kilometer zero for sustainability and slow food movements is so big that actually it is now a trend to be talking about slow tourism. And slow tourism, it is any tourism setting that it is focused on local productions. It is offering their guests for breakfast a local egg. It is offering for lunch a local beef steak. All right. Any recipe that you may think, just use local products. Okay. Just a small well, yeah, I have a link for an article that I published with some colleagues of mine related to slow tourism. It was an evaluation that we did, sorry, on the Madeira Island. Just imagine that was a project that I was involved. We ended up publishing one book. It was at university when I was leading the course for kitchen and food production, together with a chef, together with me, together with another teacher for food chemistry, together with another teacher with nutrition. So students, they start from one exercise, you know, of evaluating all the nutritional aspects from food items. And then they use these food items to make a recipe. But this recipe needs to use local products and need to be an innovation from the regular recipe. Okay. Actually, the title of the book was Madeira Food Innovation and Tradition. Okay. And actually it worked out because they could work in many recipes being, so actually we set starters, we set fish, we set meat recipes, veggie recipes, and desserts, all with local products, and these recipes, they were reinvented. What we did with this book, we registered this book with the ISN, and we offered to the university. You know, when the university now is going, or they are hosting a specific event, they have a gift from the students. It was originated from a project from where the students, they took place and they did everything. We just organized, and they offer something made from inside. Actually, this book is a sustainable book. It's a kilometer zero philosophy item. Okay, and many people, they are actually right now interested to go local and consume local. So because of that, I'm bringing the first example, and very fast for you. So it is the palmito of Atlantic, or Atlantic palmito. You know what a palmito is? So the palmito is the art of
palm tree.
palmito.
Palm tree.
Palmito is,
No.
say again?
Is it palm tree?
Well, original comes from the palm tree. That's why
Okay.
it's called palmito. And for sure you consumed a lot in Indonesia also. Okay, if you remember, or for the ones they don't see very well what it is, I'll show you a picture already. So basically, when you chop the palm tree, you go to the heart of the palm tree and you extract that part, and then you process this this part of the tree, you know, with some physical process, and so we also with thermodynamic process, because you use temperature to neutralize and as part of the process, in order to be a safe product. Okay, otherwise if you consume raw as it is, might have some issues. But still, if you want to sell it by law, it needs to be controlled, as you know. And so there's a chef. I think I told you already, or perhaps was on the first meeting that we had all teachers together before we started, when I suggested this example. So this is one student. So he's a chef already, he's a cook, and he's taking this university course. And he said, you know what? We waste so much the bananas. We just take the banana thing, so the bananas, and then the tree stays there. Okay, but you know, there's such important product. Remember, at least I remember in Sumatra, local people sometimes when they go to visit another family, sometimes they offer part of the banana tree. I don't know if in Georgia or in Java is also common, but in Sumatra, you know, it is very common. Well, whenever you have a farm, let's say, or you have a banana plantation, you go to visit someone, a very good friend, or someone that actually needs, and you give the banana tree to your host as a gift. And in the beginning, I was like, and actually, I was driving my motorbike, and I would see people, you know, carrying a banana tree with them. I said, "Whoa, what's going on?" And actually, then they explained me that this is a very nutritional plant, and it is very important for food production, or if they don't consume as a food item, they process, or they fix the plant in the way that they even give it to their cattle as a food ingredient for them, for the animals to eat. You know, it is such an amazing product that many times we just waste it. We don't evaluate this. We don't give any value to the banana tree itself after collecting the bananas. So this student, he participated in this when you see this pin is called entrepreneurship, I'm sorry, at university level, when I'm translating this this acronym. So this is a national program that runs entrepreneurship seminars at universities in Portugal, and then there's a competition. Okay, and this student, he just said, you know what, I will analyze all this, the heart of the banana tree, like they did, or he knows about the palm trees, and I'll try to see if, or how can I give value to this product. So here you have the students, you know, making his testing, and then he starts, together with some teachers at university, and being advised to run a specific test for temperature control to neutralize some bacteria or some other microbiological aspects in order to be a safe product. And he starts consuming this, you know, testing himself and giving to friends. He was preparing some specific menus, introducing the art of banana tree. So this palmito. And then he starts, you know, he starts harvesting the bananas. Then he starts using the banana tree itself, and he starts processing until here to the right hand side, that you already have it here, slice it, and in a specific solution for controlling and preserving the food item. So when he was running some tests, he found out that this regulates our intestines. So this is a very, very important food item that we can use in our menus. Okay, this, it seems, it prevents, because there are studies, scientific studies also based on palmito from the palm tree. Okay, and then they start gauging the palmito from banana tree, and actually they have the same characteristic or quite similar, and they can even say that it prevents kidney stones, lowers blood sugar levels, okay, and helps a lot in our stomach. Okay, everything with gastritis, ulcers, and so on. It is a very, very good food item that we can give value, and we can develop for, you know, to make part of any, as an ingredient to make part of any menu. As well, they found out, this was assisted with by professors at university and lots of chemical testings, it has vitamin B6, pyridoxine, and so this is so good that gives benefits for our immune system, you know, our metabolism, and so on. So it is a very, I would say, as a super ingredient, this palmito of the Atlantic. And so these are the dishes that he tried to combine. This palmito, it seems, has a natural taste, which is great when you just want to add. It's like tofu. Tofu itself doesn't have taste, right? You need to mix, when you are cooking, you need to mix with some herbs or some spices in order to have taste. And palmito, it seems, exactly the same. So it is an amazing, it's a super ingredient. So you can produce any salted dishes, any sweets, and so even desserts you can do it. All right. Here you have some photos that he did himself with this palmito. So it seems as the texture is not so smooth as tofu, but it's a little bit, I would say, rough when you touch, but it is also soft because it's processed. And actually, he tried to marinate. He tried to marinate with Madeira wine. You know, now I don't remember. I forgot the name, but in Sumatra, I remember, I know you don't consume alcohol, but at least what was told to me in Sumatra, if it is a natural fermentation, if it is a fermented product, you can consume. That's what I was told in Sumatra. And actually, once in the middle of the jungle, I was offered to try one, and now I don't remember what was that. It was something which was fermented soybeans can be, I don't remember, and it was in a banana leaf, and it has lots of alcohol inside. And then I asked, but you don't consume alcohol as a Muslim, you don't consume alcohol. Yes, but this is fermented, this is natural fermentation and handled in a specific way that we don't ingest pure alcohol. I said, okay, if you say so, I believe you. And now guess what? When I ingested this thing, I could feel the effect of alcohol. Believe me. Okay.
Is it
yes, please.
Is it like rice? Rice inside the banana. So if it is so, it is tape.
Tape, I think is that.
Yeah.
I think is that.
Yeah, tape is has fermentation, but
it's a natural fermentation.
Yeah, it's natural fermentation. But if you eat a lot, yeah, it's not good.
Yeah, you get drunk. You get drunk, believe me. I remember that day because I knew that I would go to a specific part of Sumatra. You know, I was just snaking in that snaky road through the jungle, and I said, I'm not having a strong breakfast because I might be, you know, car sick. And then we stopped somewhere, you know, just to have a nice and chilly coffee with a beautiful landscape. And then they gave me this thing to try. I said, Louis, you need to try this. Here is very popular that you have this for breakfast. I said, okay, let's try. I like everything, at least to try. And then I start asking. So, you know, this is fermented in a specific part of the time of the year, and so on and so on. I said, okay. And when I start smelling, I said, this is fermentation, alcohol fermentation. That's what happens, you know. And then I said, oh, this is very sweet, and this and that. And I said, whoa, this is a bomb. And sometime after, I could feel a little bit, whoa, that's not a good feeling, especially in these roads. But yeah, why I use this example is at least to not shock you, not disrespect you, that I'm picturing here and telling you that this marinated palmito is with Madeira wine. All right. And so it seems that this student, he tried this marinating palmito, and when he tasted, he says it tastes apple. Okay, because it gets the taste from fennel and the Madeira wine, which you know, even if you don't drink wine, you know that wine has some properties and some flavors and gets everything from the soil. You know, that's what differs from wine to wine. And this can confer the taste to the food also. So once you taste apple, wow, you can make a palmito mousse, and it tastes apple. You know, wow, this is not an apple mousse, it's a palmito mousse. Yes, but tastes apple. What did you put inside? No, I just marinated with specific ingredients and gave the taste of apples. Okay. So what happened with this story is a cook, is a university student. He has knowledge, he wants to learn, and is very eager to learn, and he wants to is an entrepreneurship now. Okay, he's an entrepreneur. So he actually won the second place in the national contest. He got 5,000 euros to, you know, to push for this business to go further. And now I'll tell you more. So the banana tree the center, the heart of the banana tree goes for this production. The rest goes for his girlfriend is using the banana leaves for fashion. So they want to produce some ladies' handbags. They want to produce some clothes and so on. And even, perhaps even from Indonesia, you, as I presume you know, you have plates. Okay, you have banana trees, not just the normal rice on a banana leaf, like the Indians. Usually, they used to have this way of eating, consuming their food. But you know, you dry out the banana leaf, and then in a specific way, and you get 1, 2, or 3 of them, and then you get this in a specific machine, and you press, and you have a hard plate. It's like a paper plate, but you have plates out of banana, right? Banana leaves. What happened is, once you are already using the banana tree, you can use a by-side product from the banana tree. So you're giving even more value. From the banana, you consume the bananas. We can extract the palmito, so the heart of the banana. We can use the leaves for fashion. We can use leaves for producing food utensils, you know, as plates or glasses. And once we discard these plates, they are biodegradable. So they degrade themselves. They help the environment. You know, it's not a plastic plate which remains in the environment for the next 5 or 6 or 700 years. It is a banana leaf plate that whenever we get humid, you know, will get rotten, and then will be integrated in the ground, will make compost. And compost they make also with the rest of the banana trees. It's not they extract the banana, they remove the banana tree. You know, for sure in Indonesia use the leaves to give the humus, to make the humus for the banana tree field. Okay, that's a natural humus. So they use also part of these scraps, and they take it back to the plantation in order to keep humidity on the ground, you know, and to reestablish the natural biological activity. All right. So this is one of the food developments that I want to talk. And the last one to finish and to not extend, so we still have half an hour, correct? To not extend our session is talking about eco-fashion. Look so fashion these guys are. What do you think? Are they fashion or not?
Yeah,
Ibu?
I think so.
I think so. It's not my style. It's not my style. But these are a musical band. Okay.
Ah, musical band. I just think they are Zorro.
Well, I'll tell a little bit the story very fast. So there's a guy that he finished. He did his studies at university in some program called I think it was New Design and Technology and Communication. And so this guy, for some reason, he got attached to fashion. He started producing their own clothes. I think started already as a project at university or as a student. And then he got his evolution. He started doing by himself, trying out himself. He started designing clothes. So he designed his logo, he designed his image. It's called Celsius. If you come here, you will have the link. You can go actually to his page. He started designing clothes, first of all, and then he started designing shoes. He started designing hats. And so he's already in the market. He attended to the very important fashion shows, but then it was so expensive to have his shop open, designing new catalogs every year. Summer 2022. You know, summer 2022 comes already out during the winter 2021. He needs to invest so much time and money. Then I said, I need something different. You know, there's so many people, so many new designers on the field. I don't want to be just one more. So he started being a designer, and he produced exclusive suites. You want to have exclusive wedding dress, and you come to this designer, it designs everything from your dress, even your shoes, and he produces these shoes for you, only for you. Wow, of course, doesn't cost you cheap money, cost you what it needs to cost. Then comes especially the type of materials that you want to have in your clothes. All right. So I know myself, when I was on Madeira Island, I had the pleasure to meet these guys. They went there to play. They have two groups. Okay. They have the Black Mamba group and they have the Tatanka group. So the Tatanka group, they applied and they participated in the Portuguese song event. So in Europe, at least in Europe, we have this Eurovision song. So it's a festival, a music fest, where every country, they select the best song, and then we compete with each other. And at the end, we'll have the winner of this European music festival. Okay, and this song should represent our culture. Hey, wait, why we are talking about fashion? We are talking about food. We are talking about local products. Why am I talking about music now? Well, Celsius, he got to dress these guys. You know, all these suits, they were designed by designers, and Celsius took part on this small hat here. You see the hat? It was produced by Celsius. And happens that Celsius use local productions. He goes to local tailors. So he enhances and he supports local activities. Okay. Of course, it is impossible that in any part of the world you will produce everything local. Otherwise, it will be ridiculously expensive. But it tries as much as possible to integrate local productions to support local industry. Okay. And so this hat that you see here comes here in this type of production. All this is produced using local tailors. Okay, and the materials, they are local. The only one which is not local is this one, and I'll tell you after why. Okay, let me just go back to my presentation. Where is my presentation? Oops. Here. Okay, so what happened here is eco-fashion is using ecological products into a fashion design or a fashion collection. Okay, and you take advantage of that. You use the label of eco-fashion to promote your collection, your products. You address the importance of using ecological products, being sustainable, and this way you can stand out from your competition. It is natural that. Okay, so Celsius, when I came out across these eco-fashion things, he came first with a surfboard. As you know, Indonesia is a world surf-wide destination. Not that far away from Yogyakarta. If you let me see on the map, if you look out to the map, you see Yogyakarta, and you just need to go on the coast down right towards Bali, and almost on the edge you will have G-Land. I don't know if any of you knows G-Land or is a surfer, but I think G-Land comes from Grajagan, something like that. I'm not precising the name, but there's a small village there that some years ago started becoming very, very popular because it has such a beautiful wave. Just, you know, it's a reef break and it's breaking continuously, and people can surf very big waves there, small waves, for such a long distance. All right. And so Indonesia is a surf paradise, believe me. From kilometer zero in Sumatra to Papua, Indonesian Papua, you'll have beautiful reef breaks for surfing. And Celsius, he got together with the surf shaper, he got together with the cork factory, because in Portugal we produce a lot of cork. Any cork that you see in a bottle being containing any fluid, it is possible that comes from Portugal also. Okay, we are very strong on this industry. Nowadays we produce handbags out of cork. We produce anything because it's very trendy having items, you know, with cork on it. And so Celsius, he came out with a design. Of course, the shape came out from the surf shaper, but the design itself, the combination of colors and the use of cork came also from Celsius. Okay, of course, this is a tailor-made board. It doesn't have these boards, you know, exposed 10 or 20 boards in one surf shop. This is a tailor-made board. And when I asked, why did you build this? He said, well, first of all, because I want to learn by using local companies. I want to integrate, I want to network, and as well, I want to come out with my fashion design. But why address to surfboard? You know, because the sustainable board is made out of cork. Cork is a very strong industry here. I am strong in fashion, and we just combine all these different fields of knowledge, and they came out with the tailor-made eco-fashion surfboard. Okay, if you click here, it will direct you to a YouTube interview and as the English subtitles. All right, at least you will know a little bit better about this project. If you click here on this hat as well, it will take you to the hat hand maker that Celsius here is. Okay, and to finish is not a kilometer zero philosophy. I mean, it is part of it, but what has to do with a confession are these shoes. These shoes here, okay. These shoes here, they are made with apple skin. I don't know if you use this product in Indonesia, or if you know this type of products, but out from apples, we can give value to this food item producing apple skin. Can you imagine that? So we don't need to use animal skin, but once we produce apples, we grow apple trees, we use these fruits for apple juice, okay, and apple mousse and so on, and apple cake. We can also use the skin of these apples. Instead of being a waste that we just throw it in the bin, we can use it to make apple skins. And this apple skin is produced in such a way. This is in Italy. This is the only product that, as far as I know, that Celsius does not use from kilometer zero philosophy. And nowadays, fashion is using this kilometer zero philosophy because people, they want to have products or fashion using local products. Okay. Again, sometimes it's difficult, but I just brought it here because it's very interesting that you can have a byproduct from apples being apple skin. And this apple skin is so strong, it's so good and easy to handle that can be replaced by leather. And this leather, you can use it from animal skins. Okay. So I will just stop my my talk, my speech. We still have 15 minutes that we can go back and forth with some questions. And I really thank you for being so patient with me. I know, like I said before, I think I get a little bit, not a little bit, very excited with the topics that I know better. Well, now I would like to hear you. I will just stop sharing my screen so you can see my face, and I'll welcome any question or any comments. Be my guest, please.
Morning, Prof.
Good
Luis.
morning. I hope you have enjoyed it.
Yes. Fashion is one of the contributor to climate change. Yes. In your beginning, slide, you write about eco fashion, who relate with tourism, right? Especially in a fashion industry for clothes. You mean clothes? That's in Indonesian. Eco fashion is become a trend in fashion. How about in your countries about that?
Well, in my country, it's becoming very, very trendy, of course, because nowadays we are thinking more globally, more locally, but also we are using this as a way to stand out from the crowds. You know, everybody needs to be creative, and if it is a fashion industry is very, very creative, and is very competitive. Okay, you need to be so creative that you can lose the train very fast if you are not. All right, so one way to stand out from the crowds, from your competition, is by using sustainable products. But it's not just the matter of using them. You need to promote them. You need to tell people, hey, I'm different. You know what? I'm feeding several families when I'm selling you this product. Okay, I'm not killing animals in order to have this t-shirt. Okay, when you are consuming my products, they are ecological produced. We handle them in a sustainable way, and we are respecting the three pillars of sustainability. So you need to pass your message in a very clear way. You need to use the right channels to make this message clear and to make sure that your target consumer, he receives this message and is really informed about your product, how you handle these products, and how sustainable they are. Because as soon as they see made in China, they will question, what? But I was told this is local production, and now it's made in China. So if it is made in China, you need to make clear what is actually made in China, and at least you need to make clear what is exactly made locally, so the customer can. So you need to be transparent. That's what I want to say. The customer can evaluate and say, "Whoa, this is definitely a way to go." I prefer consuming these products because they are more eco-fashionably handled, and I support local communities also. Okay, this is more or less our approach in Europe, in Portugal also. Okay, now because of this pandemic, the COVID, regarding tourism, we are still learning a new way for managing tourism. But the fact is that many people, they avoid to go to crowded places and they start looking for countryside settings. And once they are in the countryside settings, they start consuming local production. They start even buying local clothes. And if everything is, because this brings an attachment. If you go to the mountains and you buy clothes from a local fashion designer, which he tells you, even you visit the atelier from this designer, and you see how they produce and how they cut, is a tailor-made thing. I say this story you will carry with you every time you will be wearing these clothes, and you'll tell your friends and your family, look, this is a specific item that I visit when I went to Nepal, let's say, and I visit this atelier. I got to know how they do their fashion shows there. Okay, I learned how they handle these materials, and this is so warm. And you know, look here on the seams, they make it this way. Here, the logo, they braid it this way, you know, and this has a story. And I think this is more authentic when you wear local products and you know how it was made. Okay, this is the type of approach that we try to have here in Europe, and especially in my country.
Okay, thank you. That's
It's a
really
storytelling. At the end is an experience and a storytelling item, I would say.
okay. Yes,
Okay.
not easy, I think. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you very much for your question. Ibu, you want to make a question?
Dewi, in the chat, Mr. Louis, my
Yeah,
student,
please.
Bu Dewi coba ada di chat.
Oh yeah. Dari Julian. Julian, would you like to ask yourself?
Okay.
Oh
Mr.
yeah,
Louis,
My guess,
berani dong, berani. Yuk.
I want to ask, currently in Indonesia, the cuisine for other countries, especially Korean, are more developed than our local cuisine. It's caused by high demand for the market. So what should we do to protect our local cuisine for the extinction when the demand from the market is low? Thank you.
My pleasure. Well, first of all, because it makes part of you. Okay, your local cuisine, it's you. You will be the one. You, not necessarily you. You don't need to be cooking. You are as a society. The values that you will be carrying to your children. Okay, okay. The demand can be different now, but your local cuisine should be preserved. Makes part of your heritage. A way to preserve this heritage for example, like I was suggesting to Dewi on the beginning, why not applying for a UNESCO label in your local cuisine? Okay, because even if for some reason the demand goes in a different way, you will always stand out. And you know what? In Indonesia, you will be well known for a specific type of menu, for a specific type of cuisine. Even if it does not exist anywhere else in Indonesia, whenever people go there, is a must go, is a must consume this type of cuisine. Okay. This is my opinion, all right? I hope I have answered your question.
Okay, thank you so much.
My
for the
pleasure.
answer.
Louis,
Yes, please.
I have a question for you
Be
again
my guest.
about is there any shop that sell pre-loved clothing in Portugal? And
That tells
what
what?
you think
Sorry.
about that? Pre-loved clothing, pre-loved second-hand clothing.
Yes. Well, this market has been growing much more now. Well, it's not my field at all, but I'll give you my insights and my perception. Well, I've been a foreigner for 18 years. So I've been just permanent back to Portugal the last 2 years. But of course, I've been back and forward, and the benefit here is that I could compare the way of regarding these second-hand clothes or second-hand shops, I would say, because usually they don't sell only clothes. For sure, there are some specifically selling clothes. I've seen them, but most of them, they sell second-hand items. What I see is, number one, they are very demanding when selecting the type of items being sold in the premises. They don't want broken clothes because this does not sell. Although there's still a fashion for wearing broken jeans, you know, I think in Indonesia is also fashion. But it remembers me 20, 25 years ago, if you would have a whole on your jeans, you would be ashamed to go out. No, no, I don't. But they still knew. Your mom would tell you. They still knew. Yes, but here on the seams down there, they are ready to use. There's the lines are coming out. Okay, but nowadays, you buy them already with this specific washing. Even with holes on the knees or on the foreleg. But yeah, this is a specific thing. Now, when people they want to sell clothes, so there are many ways. One is there's a container collecting clothes, which usually they would be kind of donation for social institutions. The social institutions, some of them they own shops or they sell these clothes in order to make money out of it. The thing is, instead of giving money as a donation, people they give clothes, old clothes, hopefully not broken or not too broken. So these clothes they still own a value, they still have a value. So what the institution does is or sells them, they select the best clothes, they wash them, and then they sell them. All right, and the money is coming into the institution. Basically, that's the deal. Now, the shops selling clothes, they are opening more and more and more. All right, I would never tell you that they are the biggest competition ever comparing to the new clothes. No, but you can see way more second-hand clothes shops in any town than before. Before, people they were not so, I'll say, eager to go out to a second-hand shop. Well, perhaps because of social status. People, you would be exposed when you are in a second-hand shop. People would look at you a little bit like, what are you doing there? This was used by someone. Why are you there? People, they were eating on these plates. They were drinking on these, using these glasses. No way. Okay, this is a matter of being judged, and the way we behave. There are certain beliefs that, and this makes part of our behavior. It's called the perceived behavior. When you see people going to a second-hand clothes and you are actually curious, you go there. But if you see, you pass by a shop and there's no one there, just a salesperson, and you start wondering, how come they survive here? Oh, they have nice and interesting items. But if you go there, the society, let's say, will judge you. And sometimes we are not ready to take this judgment. This makes part of our natural behavior, believe me, in anything in life. Now, the shops, they start opening more and more. So that means that it's a more common practice. People, they start accepting more and more this type of shops. Because actually, you are not keen to spend 2 million Indonesian rupiah in a specific jacket, okay, because for you, or you cannot afford, or you don't want to pay that money because you think it's not worth, but you saw it in the second-hand shop. You go there, you've been there, you check it, you try it, fits on you, is very nice and fits you so well, and it is new. Perhaps it was used just a couple of times, and you say, I want to buy it. And you buy it. You don't need to tell anyone that it was bought in the second-hand shop. No, that's not a detail that you need to provide to anyone. And it has to do with our behavior as a society. Okay, here we have more and more. Now, regarding consumers, we have this type of consumers that we got used and we start adopting a new behavior, which I myself bought already things in the second-hand market. I can tell you, I'm not shame on that. For some people, it is a matter of status. I will never go on the second-hand market. For sure, you have the same type of behaviors in Indonesia. But remember that now we are facing lots of challenges worldwide, and this pandemic, this COVID pandemic, brought to the surface a lot of social issues. For sure, in Indonesia, you start talking about this more and more. The level of poverty People that before they had money to have a house, without a job, with a shutdown from any business because of COVID, they don't have food. They cannot feed their children. They cannot buy new clothes. Okay? Because they don't have income anymore. Now, when it comes to buy clothes, they go to these shops and they're still buying excellent clothes. They are not brand new. And what is the problem with that? So I think our mentality start changing. Yes, please. Be my guest. You can tell me.
Louis, do you think if do you think if we promote local food or local fashion by stating that like you said, we don't use animal when making this, for example, and then if you buy this product, you can feed some poor children, for example, or if you buy this product, so it will help other poor people like this. Is working?
Of course it is working. Of course it is working. Well, it's not on this scope, but I can look. I remember last term I gave a case study using Pertemuan. You know, Pertemuan in Indonesia is a very important
company. That's the only our.
Okay. So it is called. What I want to say is a social, a corporate social responsibility. So this is also a topic that you have been addressing since many years in Indonesia, and for sure you have been crossing this topic. So let's say, when you are a salesperson, when you are doing your marketing plan, let's use now this field, marketing. Okay, I'm not a cook, I'm not a fashion designer, I'm a marketer. You need help, and of course I want to make business. And marketing, I can combine all these things, because you need a marketing plan. It's not just being an excellent cook, an excellent chef. If you don't market your products, no one will know. You know what I mean? No one knows that you are the best chef in Yogyakarta. Nobody knows that you make the best satay in town. Nobody knows that you have local production. So you need to talk to someone to assist you on a marketing plan. And when you are marketing, you need to use these specific assets: local production, sustainability, plus that I carry social responsibility for my corporation. For every time that you buy a t-shirt from me, I donate 1,000 Indonesian rupiahs. Well, 1,000 is not, but 10,000 Indonesian rupiahs to, I don't know, a local school. And when people, they know that you do this, that you have this practice, they support you even more and easier. But now you need to make clear that you really donate this money, because you just say, buy from me and I donate money, and you never show, you are not transparent how much money you gave already, people will not believe on you. All right, you need to be transparent. So just to close down, if you want to use this type of approach to tell the people, okay, be transparent, and you can use this corporate social responsibility approach. It is very easy. I know people in tourism, they say, for every tour that you buy from me, we donate €1 for soup. We call it a program which is called the soup for the poor. Okay, so homeless people, they live on the streets, they rely on these settings to get some, to grab a bite or to feed, put something in their stomach. Indonesia has also this type of civil actions, and companies, they donate €1 for the soup. Simple as that. Okay. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, sure. So
Okay.
it's
it is a matter of putting everything on the table, and you picked up the best ones for marketing, but be clear, transparent. Just pick up the important ones and be transparent. Just
Yeah.
advertise on your web page. This month, we donate this much money for local school. With this money, kids, they could get new uniforms, and you just place the picture from the kids, for instance. You ask for permission,
Yeah.
okay, or you take a photo for a little bit distance that you don't see exactly the face, you know, because of data protection, you know, and people say, wow, these guys are so professional, and they will come to you, believe me.
Yeah. So further from that, probably we can talk more about fair trade. Yeah.
Yes, that's fair trade at the end of the day.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
My pleasure. I think we have some.
So Louis,
Yeah.
I discussed something.
Oops.
As we know, tourism in every country have a bad side and good side. And then relating with the gastronomic, local gastronomic especially, what do you think about scam tourism? And maybe in Madeira, there is no tourism scam.
I could not hear you. What I think about?
Tourism scam.
Tourism scam. Okay.
In every country, I think there's a tourism scam. But what do you think about that? And how about in Madeira about tourism scam? There's no that.
Well, for sure there are scams everywhere, like you said. That's unfortunately there's always scams everywhere. People taking more advantage, or sometimes even people thinking they are smarter. All right. Well, I will start right at the airport, and I think that's normal everywhere in the world. You take a taxi, and the ride will cost you way much more money, only because you are going from the airport. But you know, sometimes they have, you know, they are more better organized, and they have at least in Portugal, for you to go and have a pickup service from the airport, you need to have a specific license already to avoid these scams. Why? Because people, they were saying they were taxis, they were not taxi drivers. But I'm a taxi driver. No, here taxis is like in Indonesia, you have the blue taxis, the yellow taxis, and so on. And when you read about taxis, people say, okay, take the blue taxis. They are the most reliable ones and cheaper ones. Said, okay, so always we look for blue taxis. And especially because of that, because some people, they are not even taxi drivers. They don't have a license. Some of them, they might not even have a driving license. Okay. And they pick you up and they charge you as much as they want. And then they tell you, you know what, the ride costs you 10 euros, but they don't tell you it costs 10 euros, it costs you 50 euros, 5 times more. You as a tourist, you say, well, I did not know that, and you pay. So for me, that's the first scam. It happens a lot in Lisbon, even having this, so now it's not Madeira, but Lisbon, but it happens also. In Lisbon, you can exit the airport using a taxi, a transfer, so in this case a private transfer, a group transfer. You can take a tube, so the metro, and even you can take a local bus. So you have at least 5 different ways, and there are so many scams that as soon as they realize that you are not from town, they take you around the whole city. Okay, so the ride, instead of costing you 10 euros, again, cost you 50 euros or 100 euros. And many times there are some journalists or even the authorities, they take a taxi. And they say, okay, I want to go to this point, downtown. And they take even out from Lisbon. And they take you downtown. And then at the end, they show them ID and they say, listen, now you need to pay a fine, because I told you, because in our law, it is already something that they need to take the shortest and safest way. Okay, and especially if you know the way and you know that is a scam straight away. There are scams. Well, now I want to go to tourism, back to tourism directly. So there are scams that they involve excursions. They tell you, for instance, in Madeira Island, that you go to visit the natural the natural laurisilva, the ancient forest, and they just take you somewhere and say, okay, now you go there, you walk, it's there. So it's a scam. Just they want your money, and instead of taking you in a 1 or 2 hours walk, they just drive you and drive you and drive you, and they just let you walk 5 minutes, 5-10 minutes. Okay, regarding tourism operations, I consider this as a scam. All right, scams, they can be, for instance, for everything is so transparent, or we try to have it so transparent. Every time you purchase an item, anytime you book your accommodation, you need to get a receipt. And why you need to get a receipt? Because once they punch the value in the cash machine, in the system, the fiscal authority, the tax office, knows that you paid that money. All right, so in this case, many times we try to make it what we call under the table. We don't give you a receipt, or we handwrite the receipt. So we keep this money, and the scam is that we don't declare this money to the authorities. So these are scams that we still try to deal with in order to be more transparent. Okay. Did I answer?
Okay.
Well, but again, there are many types of scams, and using tourists as well.
Okay. Thank you for.
My pleasure. And Dewi?
Yeah.
Anything else? More questions?
Yeah, because now it's 10 minutes
time.
more. It passed already. Ibu Kokom, would you like to?
Sudah.
Okay.
Nampaknya sudah jam
4 lebih. Jam berapa pun
jam
sekarang?
5, sudah 5 lebih 10. Sudah, Mbak Dewi.
Mungkin jangan lupa untuk presentasi buat teman-teman, Bu Dewi.
Ya.
Presensi.
Ya. Presensi, okay.
Yeah.
So Louis, actually, your teaching materials are important, of course, but also we would like to know more about Madeira and other things. So that is why our question is
more direct
somehow into
of course.
Into your materials and other things about Madeira.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think today I gave you also a very important. I consider it is a very important example from Madeira Island. This palmito is from Madeira Island, all right? Because on the mainland in Portugal, we don't produce bananas. So the banana trees, they don't grow. Of course, we have them. I have a neighbor, he has a banana tree in front of his house. But as a production, we don't have it. As a part of the economy sector. On Madeira Island, it is a very, very, very important production. On Madeira Island, they produce 5 types of banana. Okay, imagine that on Madeira Island, regarding agriculture, banana, it is one of the biggest productions. Then we have grapes, okay, for wine production mainly. And then we have some fruits. But banana, I would say, and wine grapes are the most important production for the economic activity. So that's why, as well, I think it is interesting because number 1 is from Madeira Island. Number 2, well, I have a little bit more knowledge from this process there. Number 3 is a project which started at university, and it is a symbol and represents entrepreneurship. Okay, a way to give value to our products, a way to promote. Imagine that this palmito from Atlantic goes, and I hope it goes worldwide. Where it comes from? Madeira Island. Yeah, but palmito is from palm tree. Yes, we just use the same, but that's why, because it's not from palm tree, you call it Atlantic palmito. And in Atlantic Ocean and Madeira Island, we don't produce massively palm trees. We produce bananas. Okay, we grow banana trees, and that's why, you know, and this goes attached. And I think this is one of the things, like using one of the questions, why to preserve local production once the demand is another one. Well, sometimes can be just a matter of introduction, a new product. Okay, in this case is introduction of a new product in gastronomy worldwide. All right, if it is just a matter of producing or cooking, can be a way, a local way, and we promote our local cuisine, and that's it. But I'll always bring examples from Madeira.
Interesting. All right, so can I conclude a little bit in Bahasa?
Yes, you can. Be my guest.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you so much.
Jadi ini tadi ya teman-teman semuanya, saya juga di sini belajar tentang saat ini Louis tadi sudah menyampaikan bahwa untuk pengembangan food dan fashion tourism menjadikan produk yang lebih sustainable ternyata memang tidak usah kita harus confidence terhadap our locals ya. Kalau bagaimana caranya confidence ya, berarti kita tadi harus mengeksplor dengan teknologi, dengan ilmu yang kita punya. Tadi Luis menyampaikan contoh palm tree de Atlantico. Ya, Luis ya. Palm tree de Atlantico. Ya, itu tadi dia menyampaikan bahwa pisang tidak hanya dicari buahnya saja, tetapi juga sampai diteliti bagaimana pisang gedeboknya ya, gedebok pisangnya itu bisa dipakai untuk kuisin seperti tahu, bisa dipakai di mana-mana ya, bisa untuk tumis, bisa untuk rebus dan sebagainya. Kemudian juga banana leaves-nya ternyata dipakai untuk sepatu. Tadi sepatunya siapa tadi ya? Celsu apa tadi? Contohnya, jadi semuanya buatan lokal punyanya Madeira. Jadi sebenarnya intinya adalah tentang bagaimana mengeksplorasi potensi yang kita punya dengan tentu saja dengan
rasa percaya
penguasaan diri. Ya, percaya diri itu bisa dibangun dengan penguasaan teknologi, penguasaan bahan yang akan kita pakai sehingga bisa dijual. Ya, bisa dijual. Tadi banana leaf-nya saya nggak tahu kenapa kok bisa jadi piring ya, piring atau cutlery yang lain. Kemudian tadi Bu Widi tadi sepatu tuh dibuat dari kulit apel.
Ya, serat-serat.
Ya, kulit apel. Nah, itu kan berarti kan tidak bisa hanya kulit apel dibuat gitu ya Bu ya, pasti kan ada teknologinya. Nah, ini
pasti ada teknologi.
Ya, dan itu akan sangat berhubungan dengan entrepreneurship karena Louis percaya mungkin ya bahwa kita belajar gastronomi, belajar tentang busana, itu juga pasti sudah belajar tentang teknologi pengelolaannya sehingga bisa dibuat sebagai ikon produk yang bisa dijual dengan dengan menggunakan bahan lokal bisa lebih sustainable karena kita punya begitu. Kita punya. Ada semuanya sehingga tidak perlu tergantung dengan import dari yang lain gitu. Saya kira itu Ibu Widi mungkin mau nambahkan atau yang lain. Itu yang saya tangkap tadi. Ya, sudah cukup.
Ya, cukup.
Ya, baik. Terima kasih. Ya,
Ya.
oke, Louis, I already.
Sebentar, itu ada saya sampaikan ada Mbak Firi itu sudah membuat apa link mungkin nanti bisa di upload di video. Ya, pertemuan kemarin. Pertemuan kemarin ini teman-teman nanti sudah direkam ya.
Oh, okay. Yeah, baik. So our recorded last meeting Zoom already uploaded.
Okay.
Yeah, in the Google Drive, but I will give you the link if you would like to also see.
Okay, yeah. Thank you so much.
All right, Luis. So I think that's enough for today.
Okay, we see each other next week at the same time.
Yeah.
And just for your information, I just sent you right now the PDF of this PowerPoint presentation, so you can share with all attendants.
Oh ya, oke, ya PDF-nya juga sudah dikirim ke saya, nanti saya akan share. Baik. Ya, terima kasih sekali partisipasinya teman-teman, sudah sangat membantu kelancaran hari ini. Semoga besok lebih berpartisipasi lagi, kita sama-sama belajar ya. Terima kasih Ibu. Saya
terima kasih.
Ya, Luis, thank you.
Terima kasih banyak. Saya jumpa lagi.
Pinter.
Di sana ada durian nggak?
Di sana ada durian, Luis.
Oke. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Ayo Mas Joni, besok itu apa berperan ya. Besok.
Ya, terima kasih
Ibu Kakak, Bu Dewi.
Terima kasih Bu Dewi.
Mohon maaf ini saya nanti tadi sambil-sambil. Terima kasih.
Terima kasih teman-teman yang lain sudah.
Terima kasih Bu Dewi.
Terima kasih Mbak